Good. How you doing? What's up, everyone? My name is Eric Jones. I'm the founder and CEO of LFLS Shoes. So it's a local designer dress shoe company. And aside from that, I do a lot of social media work, personal branding, and different things like that. So yeah, that's who I am. That's what I do. This is one of our styles. And yeah, so peace.
Looks very nice.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Ania Roche with House of Roche Interior Design, specializing in residential home styling, home staging for those of you who are wanting to sell your property, and e-designs.
What am I doing? What am I doing? No. Okay, right here. Tell me when. Okay, hello there. Where am I looking? My name is Cindy Johnson, and I have a company called The Answer for You. One of the things I do in that is a movement called Eccentrics, and it is fabulous. Combines Tai Chi, ballet, and it is physiotherapy, pain-free for your body. I am located in North Bentonville on 701 McNelly Road, and it's a pretty hopping place. I'm 56, and I feel really good. So if you want some energy, Eccentrics. All right, and then I have to...
Hi there. I'm Peggy Rosenthal with Dream Vacations in Bella Vista. We plan travel all over the world or close to home. Give us a call at 479-855-1250. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Carl Ballou, also known as CB Dance Man. I do the old-fashioned barn dances. I get out in the middle of the floor, a group of people who want to have a great time doing the Virginia reel, patty cake polka. They don't have to have any experience or partners. We just have a great time. Carl Ballou, CB Dance Man at 479-426-4873. See you on the dance floor.
Hi, I'm Joel Slakowitz, and I'm a relationship manager with Heartland. We're a merchant services company. Our flagship is credit card processing, and we are entrepreneurs respectfully serving entrepreneurs.
Awesome. Anyone else?
Well, hello everybody. I hope you enjoyed Mike's Magic Monthly Monday Moment on the mic, and we're excited to have you here at our upside down edition of Good Morning Neighbor. Hi Arlene, how are you?
I'm just great. How
Oh,
about you,
good.
Michael?
Glad to join us.
You know, you listed all those M's for Mike's
Magic Monthly
whatever.
Moment.
She left out at the Meteor.
At the
Another
Meteor,
M.
another M in there. Wow.
So
there you go.
We are broadcasting live via Facebook from a very historical location in downtown Bentonville, and that's the Meteor on Central Avenue in Bentonville, Arkansas. As I said, it's a place where friends and family can come, hang out. They want to be Bentonville's area hangout. There's great music, and we'll be talking with Les a few minutes about that, so you'll get to know more about it.
Well, you know, Arlene, through our monthly visits into homes with newcomers and new homeowners, we're excited to connect small businesses and newcomers to Northwest Arkansas.
That we are.
And one of the things that I like is each week we also bring community members and business owners together really to welcome each other and talk about their businesses in the community. Please like our page, our post through Facebook. Go out and comment, share our page. Encourage others to also like our page and do the same for the Meteor Guitar Gallery as well. You can find us at NWA Welcome Services, and you can also find the Meteor Guitar Gallery at Meteor Guitar Gallery as well.
MeteorGuitarGallery.com and Facebook.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Well, you know, Michael, there's some stuff happening, that's a couple of ongoing things here in Bentonville. The 21C Museum at 5 o'clock on Monday, I believe it's Monday and Wednesdays, they're having the curator or the, what you know that word, dossier, what's his name, docent.
The docent,
yes.
yes.
The docent is doing tours that are free to the public.
Okay.
And they can just come in, and that's at 5 o'clock on those days. You can find that out on the internet, just about anywhere you go look. Then another ongoing one that a lot of families don't know about is Wednesday night is the free night over at the Amazium.
Yes.
And so that a lot of churches during the summer like to get together if they're breaking a little bit on some of their events and some of their services. They'll get together and go over there on Wednesday nights. but it's their open family night, so people can come over for that.
Well, excellent. Well, we're excited to have on our program right here at the front Les Key with Meteor Guitar here in downtown Bentonville, who's been a wonderful and gracious host to have us this evening with our ribbon cutting from the Bentonville-Bella Vista Area Chamber of Commerce. So this was nice. Les, thank you for allowing us to be here. Appreciate you. And speaking of events and happenings, I think there's a lot going on here at Meteor Guitar. Why don't you kind of walk us through some of the things that are going on?
We've got a good jazz show coming up next Friday.
Excellent.
We've got Creed Bratton from The Office coming on I believe the 8th, and used to play with Mamas and the Papas. And,
wow.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's a good guitar player. We've got Oreo Blue, local favorite, and Shaw Davis and the Black Ties. I believe they're on the 8th. And then we've got, they're on the 9th.
The 9th, okay.
The comedy Creed Bratton is on the 8th.
Okay. When on the 1st is when the jazz.
That's with Rodham Savan.
But he's also
doing
a
jazz workshop. Yeah,
I thought that was
that'll be before the show, and then local musicians can come in and take some jazz lessons, and then the show directly after. Then we've got Walter Trout coming up a week after that on the Sunday after Oreo.
Okay.
Excellent.
Well, I noticed that you do a lot with a local comedy group or a promoter for comedy.
We do. We've got Todd Glass. Will be here in about a month. That'll be a Sunday show as well.
Awesome.
And we're working on a few more comedy events. So we'll try to scatter those in, at least one or two a month with the music shows.
Well, tell us a little bit about your story. I know in 2014, you and your wife and your two sons that were teenagers at that time, which I can't imagine you going on a new venture with teenagers.
Yeah, it was quite an adventure.
So tell us a little bit about how you started the Meteor.
It was just a crazy idea that kind of came to me when I was in Ohio, and decided to move back home and do this with the old theater. It took us about 6 months, I think, to get the front opened, and about another year to get it all done. And we had our first big show, I think, April of 15.
Okay.
So we were about a year and a half into it at that point when we had that first show, and then it's been pretty much nonstop ever since. We just finished another major remodel with all new floors and sound systems and lighting and trussing and new paint job, new sign out front, new awning, new tile. Just kind of gave it all a little facelift front to back.
Tell us about the big guitar that's on the side of the building.
That was actually made for a museum in Fort Smith, 25 years ago. And it's been floating around through a few dealers' hands through the years. The museum was only open for, it was there for about 3-4 years, I think. And then it ended up a couple of guys' hands, and then Les Haney at Blue Moon and Fayetteville ended up with it for a while. And then when I moved to town, he was getting ready to move. So we decided it'd be better suited to move it here. And we did a little trading and stuck it out on the wall.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. That is awesome. So, well, Michael, did you have any other questions for Les about the Meteor?
Well, I think Les, as we've done many a time, we could visit with you for hours, and unfortunately we have a timeline to keep with, obviously, and time to move on to our time to move on to our first music segment.
We're going to skip that one.
That's right, we are going to skip that one.
We're going to hold out and get the best for a little bit
That's
later.
right, we are. So we'll move on to community awareness, but Les, I want to thank you again for opening up your facility, letting us come out, and we're excited to highlight it here before our viewers, and look forward to coming back in the future.
Get some music ready to go here in a few minutes.
Yeah, excellent.
Up next we have Talking Politics with our co-hostess, Carrie Smith. So let's go to her.
Hey, it's so good to be with stop in. They just have a nice renovation that they finished, and I mean, I'm in a 60s and 70s tribute band called Paper Jam, and we have played that stage, and it's an amazing space. So it's a thrill to be in there, especially for Mike and Arlene's ribbon cutting with the Bentonville Chamber today. So anyway, if you guys get a chance to stop in, please do. Well, today we were supposed to have Sheriff candidate Glenn Latham with us, but he has had a death in the family. So please keep Glenn and his wife Kelly, who is also running for Justice of the Peace, and your thoughts and prayers as they deal with that on the eve of the very important day, which is the election, the primary election here in Arkansas. I just wanted to cover a few things that are related to the election that I wanted you to keep in mind. The most important thing is I want you to vote prepared. The best way to do that is to look at your sample ballot. If you haven't had a chance to do that, go to the Secretary of State website and look under election information, and then you want to find your registration information out there. And it will give you it'll give all of your details on the website, and then it will list the sample ballots. And there's three choices there. There is the Republican ballot is the first one, I know because I've already clicked there. The second one is the Democratic ballot, and the other one is the nonpartisan ballot. And the real difference here in Benton County is a lot of your choices that you're going to want to vote for are not necessarily because they're Republican, but that's the ballot with all the choices. Because Benton County has a tendency to have many more Republicans running, there are a lot of races on there, and some of them will be decided, and I will give you a list of those in a little bit. If you were to choose to pick up the nonpartisan ballot, there are just three things that you need to determine. There's the State Supreme Court Associate Justice Position 3, and you've probably received a lot of mailings on that. And that is a nonpartisan race. The judge races are nonpartisan for Supreme Court. David Sterling, Courtney Goodson, and Kenneth Hickson are the candidates that are on those. Those are nonpartisan races. They are on all three ballots. The school board, most of the school boards in Arkansas starting this year are on either the primary ballot or they are on the general election ballot. I believe in Northwest Arkansas, the only school district to choose to be on the general election ballot was Bentonville. So I know on my Rogers ballot, we just have one candidate running. Now, a change that they made in the legislature this last year was that if you were unopposed, if you're a candidate running unopposed, your name does not have to be on the ballot. You kind of pass and go on to the next step. But what I find that was interesting is most of the school board candidates that are running this year are running unopposed, and yet their names are on there. So I thought that was very interesting. But in Benton County, there are some school board races that you'll want to check out, and it can be difficult to find out about them, but I urge you to kind of see who is running for school board in your area and decide if you have a choice or not. Also, we have a millage tax in Rogers, and you might see that in other places. What they told me when we reached out for a voter who asked about that millage rate, are we voting for a new millage rate? And the truth is, no, we are not. It's the same one. And it says if it was not approved by a majority, then it would go back to the last voter-approved rate. So it's not an increase. It's really a continuation. So if you see that millage, what you're voting for is really just a continuation of the same rate. So now that's specifically Rogers, but I would guess that there's probably some other school races, school districts that have that same situation going on. What I like about being able to look at my voter registration data is that also down there it will tell me who all of my legislators are for where I live. So if I have an issue where I need to ask about something that only my legislator can help me with, that tells me who to go, and then I can search that person's name in the Arkansas or even the U.S. legislature websites so that I can reach out to them for assistance. So I just urge you to keep that as a resource for you. You probably don't even need to use it more than when you go vote. But now, in the event that you didn't update your voter registration, one of the things that you might consider, maybe I can't vote because I didn't get a chance to update my voter registration and I moved. Well, the beautiful thing about the new voting machines is that if you were registered in Arkansas, you can vote anywhere in Arkansas. Now, it may not have the ballot that for exactly where your new residence is, but you can still vote as long as you were registered. So there's still plenty of time to update your registration for the general election. So if you haven't done that yet, please do. But you know, if you're unsure, go vote or go vote. Go see if you're in the system, and then get a ballot and weigh in, because there's plenty of state races that are important that you really will want to weigh in. Now, on a local level, we have in District 90, the Jana De La Rosa and Kenan Underwood race. That is, if you pick up a Republican ballot, the winner of that will move on to run against someone in the general election. And the District 91 race, which is kind of that Centerton area, that's Dan Douglas and Scott Richardson running in that. That race is decided tomorrow. So you'll want to be able to, if you live in their area, you'll want to go in and weigh in on that. They are on the Republican ballot. Also, District 93, which is Bentonville, basically, Jim Dodson and Gann Nunnally. They will have, the winner of that race will have an opponent in the general election. The JP district elections, the Justice of the Peace races, it's been kind of unusual for JPs to have opponents. In fact, the entire quorum court is Republican, but this year we've seen a lot of interesting action that we'll see many more of them competing against opponents in the general election this year. So it'll make really good for some good campaigns out there. In the general my goodness, in the primary, and there's our music. It was sound check here at Meteor Guitar Gallery. I love that. I love that. It's a little flavor. So in the Justice of the Peace races, we do have, on the Republican ballot, we do have some races. In District 11, which is, I believe, kind of the Hiwassee, Centerton area, that is Kelly Latham and Dustin Todd. In Bella Vista, we have that race between Joel Edwards and Jamie Shepard, and also District 1, which is the Prairie Creek area east of Rogers, Mike McKenzie and Dale King. Also remember that the sheriff race is determined tomorrow as well between Sean Holloway and Glenn Latham. So if you think your vote doesn't count and you don't need to come out tomorrow, I would urge you to go out and show up and vote. Do a little homework, and sometimes you have to vote your heart, but there's a lot of races that are decided in the primary. It's definitely worth your trouble to go. Voter turnout is fairly low, so I doubt you're going to have a long wait tomorrow. And of course, we have 35 voting locations throughout Benton County that you can go vote at. So go check out the new locations. The volunteers are still kind of learning the equipment, but you should know that we really believe that that investment is going to make it much easier and much faster for us to get our election results at the end of the night. So if you're interested in checking out any of the watch parties, just kind of Google. I understand that the different campaigns will have some watch parties out there that where their race is determined tomorrow. And then also you're seeing some of the parties, also the political parties, have some watch parties going on. So do check those out. Also, as we close, if you got any of these kind of materials and you wonder who's paying for these things, if you will look on the materials that you get, there is requirement that it says paid for by, and that's who it pays for. So it might be the campaign, it might be an out-of-state group that is putting money into a campaign, so that's how you tell. So it's not always the candidate that is putting a race out there. or a slam ad or whatever. So you want to just kind of, when you're thinking about who you want to vote for, really think hard about, where those, read those things that you get in the mail, but take them with a grain of salt. Always, I believe, and it's kind of late now, but I always believe that it's a great idea to call your candidates. Guys, I'm so happy I got to spend this time with you. Please go vote tomorrow. I'm Carrie Perrin-Smith. I am a candidate who will be on your general election ballot if you live in Northwest Rogers for Justice of the Peace District 5. Ladies and gentlemen, back to you. All right, let's give them a hand. That was some of the guys from here at the Meteor Guitar Gallery. We spoke earlier of the fact that Les and his wife had 2 teenage sons that helped them get the gallery started, and that's the 2 you were hearing on guitar there. So we really appreciate you guys, and I'm sure you'll be hearing more from them. Well, we're now to our community awareness segment, and we have Dr. Meredith Jones with us. She is the director and an assistant professor
at Harding University. Please welcome her, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening with the university and what it's all about. So first off, Dr. Jones, there is so much happening at the university. We could probably spend a whole show talking about Harding University. But what I'd like for you to do is just tell us some of the highlights about what the university is.
Sure. Well, we are a private Christian university that is a branch of our main campus in Searcy, where there are over 5,000 students, lots of degrees and lots of majors. But there was a need for several different campuses to be built, one in North Little Rock, one in Memphis, and then here, for teacher preparation. And so our campus was built solely to work to help students become teachers and for teachers.
Awesome, awesome. Well, so that's a little bit about how the Northwest Arkansas campus came to be. Do you want to expound on that any? How did it happen?
Sure. Well, our campus here actually started about 10 to 12 years ago, and Mr. Cecil Booth actually started it in his home until we could rent space on Phyllis Street. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, we built a building on 52nd Street in Rogers. And so now we have a 2-story building with classrooms, computer labs, and space for rent. So we're able to cater to different groups in our building. And we kind of cater to 4 different groups.
Well, tell us about, I know you have 4 different programs, so tell us about those 4 programs.
Okay. Our first group that we kind of cater to are students that mainly come from NWAC who want to get a bachelor's in education, and they can either get a degree to teach K-6 elementary education or middle level education. We work really closely with NWAC so that those students can transition very easily and finish within 2 years and then go out and get a job. The second group are students who already have a bachelor's degree and they want to get a master's. And so they can come to us and work in 4 to 5 semesters and do an entire program online to get a master's to teach any subject, any grade level. And they can even get a provisional teaching license to teach while they do our program.
Okay.
So it's very convenient for people who want to work and teach at the same time.
And then you have 2 more.
We do. So our third group are for current educators. We have lots of graduate programs for current educators, leadership, masters in leadership to become a building principal. They can do specialists to become a district level administrator, or even a doctorate. We have reading programs, special education programs. So lots of ways for current educators to further their education. And they can even get a first course free if they get a letter signed by their principal.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. Well, we're all about getting people involved, and tell us ways that the community can get involved with Harding University and about how they can use your building and some things like that.
Sure. So we use our building, since our courses are either online or in the evenings, we rent out space in our building weekly. We have networking groups and just organizations that want to come in and use the space for their meetings. We also host blood drives, and we even have some artwork from the artists of Northwest Arkansas. So even if you just wanted to come in and look at someone's artwork in our building, it's open for that too.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we've been speaking with Dr. Meredith Jones, again, Director and Assistant Professor at Harding University, Northwest Arkansas campus. And our next segment is NWA development. And so let's go to Michael and the local Bentonville Chamber of Commerce.
Well, Arlene, thank you for that wonderful segment with Dr. Meredith Jones from Harding University. It's always a pleasure to hear from her every time that she gets on the show. So today we're excited to have Daryl Harvey, Director of Membership and Membership Development with the Greater Bentonville Area Chamber of Commerce. Daryl, welcome.
Thank you, Michael. Really appreciate it.
Excellent. Well, thank you for coming out and sitting with us. It is a little cooler in this environment than last week, but glad to have you. So talk to me a little bit. The Greater Bentonville Area Chamber has been around for 80 years, and there's a lot of roles that the Chamber of Commerce performs. Can you talk to us about what a Chamber of Commerce does and really how it impacts the communities we live and play in?
Yeah, that's a great question. What chambers do, our goal is to create meaningful connections with people, business to business, business to customers. We want to connect people to services, programs, resources that can help them grow their business, which impacts the community. A great place to live always includes a great place to work and other elements of just placemaking. So we have a hand in that in our work with local businesses.
Well, you guys do a great job, especially within the community, and I know that your primary responsibilities are ensuring the continuous and kind of steady growth of the Chamber's membership and recruitment, retention, and service programs overall. Tell us how your role facilitates, Daryl, in serving and growing businesses in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, it's fun to facilitate handshakes, and it's that simple thing and what it can do in the power of relationships with business to business, and you know a lot about that. There's one story that just really encapsulates the whole mission and how we do what you just asked. We've got about 1,000 members in the Chamber membership, which doesn't come close to every business in the community. We've got a lot of room to grow. But just in the size of 1,000, there's so many members that don't know other members, and we get the chance to connect them to each other. Did you know we had an NWA Polo Club?
No, I did not.
We do, and they're a member of the Chamber. We also have a wedding event venue out west of town called the Holland Barn venue, and Eric Holland had called me and just said, hey, we're not sure what else we can do with our property, how we can utilize this space. And I said, have you met Susan from the NWA Polo Association? And he said the same thing. We've got a polo association? And I said, yeah. And so I was able to introduce them, and they just took off and running with that to be a location for polo events, as well as team building events and other corporate opportunities, because we were able to facilitate that. And that's just one story among many that we can help people reach the right partner and collaborate with them to form a more dynamic economy in our local community.
Well, Daryl, I know that the Chamber is busy working closely with the Northwest Arkansas Council, as many other chambers are as well, really in conducting surveys of local businesses, really gathering data, which is leveraged to advance the region through kind of the various initiatives that we've been seeing. Explain kind of that role to us, how that works with the council, because people hear of the council, but it's kind of like this nebulous cloud out there that nobody knows anything about.
Right. We work with the council in gathering these ERE surveys. They're surveys that take into consideration all the aspects of running a business here in our community. It can be logistics, the actual physical condition of streets and roads, their encounters with utility services. So we ask them about their experience of leading their business, and hopefully can uncover ways that we can better serve them as a community, and ways that the Northwest Arkansas Council can go to work on challenges that they're seeing across the region to make it easier to bring talent, attract talent, retain talent. And those are great. I would welcome anyone who would like to fill out a survey or chat with me. It's some people think, well, that's the squeaky wheel thing, and it's really the opposite. When the squeaky wheel will call in and complain about a pothole on X, Y, or Z street. But this takes a broader picture of what's going on that's affecting businesses. So it really is a good opportunity to be heard, and I would encourage any local business owner to reach out. I would love to talk to them.
Well, I'll tell you, your work with the council is very well noted in the community, and we certainly appreciate that. And I know local businesses do appreciate that as well. Just to kind of wrap up here a minute, Daryl, what's the first thing you would tell a newcomer to Bentonville about?
Well, first I would say welcome. We're glad you're here, because I think that's what many of us received.
Yes.
This is a community that collaborates and cheers one another on. So I would say don't shy away from that. Meet people. Assume they want the best for you, and I think it harkens back to Mr. Sam and all those other pioneers who just chose to be in it together. And and I would say that's part of our culture today.
Excellent. Well, Daryl, thank you for taking time with us here at Good Morning Neighbor, our upside-down version for the week, and also to be part of NWA Welcome Services. We're excited to be part of the Bentonville Area Chamber of Commerce, and your service to the community, again, just unbelievable. And now, over to Arlene and our Did You Know guest. Thank you, Daryl.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Michael, and Daryl, it was great to have you on with us. Next, we're going to talk about some of our community partners and people that like to take care of other people with our Did You Know? And I have with me today Diane Bufford from the Schmeeding Center. So Diane, I want you to tell us a little bit about what the Schmeeding Center is and how it came to be.
Okay, the Schmeeding Center is a regional center on aging, and we all about helping people age well. And how it came to be, where we got the name, is the benefactor was Lawrence Schmeeding, and he had a brother that got ill, and with their substantial resources, he couldn't find anybody to take care of him in the home. So he basically said, I couldn't find a qualified caregiver. So basically endowed the Schmeeding Center, and we initially started as caregiver training services. We have a nationally renowned caregiver training it's called the Schmeeding Caregiver Training. We're known throughout the nation about it, and that's how it all came to be, and it has evolved where as a regional center on aging we have a lot of other things that we offer too.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about some of those offerings. What are some of the services that you provide?
We have what we call the Family Aging and Support Services, and what we do with that is if you have, say, one of your family members is sick or just got diagnosed with something major and you can't stay at home by themselves or about to leave the hospital and you're just going, what do I do, where do I go? We're the first stop or the first call you can make because we have social workers on staff that you can call. They'll do family meetings. It's free to the public. That's the beauty of it. And we can guide you through. We have the resources available, and we can refer you to all of the services that are out there for you.
Okay. So do you work with people whose families just have aging, or what about if they're getting into dementia or other mental health issues?
That is one of the really important things. And we also teach workshops. We have family caregiver workshops for caregivers, the folks for dementia and Alzheimer's, and we also teach Alzheimer dementia training, as well as we have support groups that we offer. We're not only located in Springdale, but we serve the whole region. So we have support groups that we have throughout the region at different assisted livings, at different long-term care facilities, and out in churches and things. So we're really a community. We do a lot of community outreach work like that.
Excellent. So next we're going to talk a little bit about the center and some of the resources you have there, but also go into the community involvement section.
Yeah, and when I was talking about the resources, we actually have a library in the facility that has all the brochures and anything aging related. That could be a lawyer, an elder lawyer, or anything like that. So you can go in and do that. And we also have a 125-seat auditorium that people can come in and lease out. We do professional, continuing ed credits, paraprofessional. So and you can have your groups come in and utilize it too.
Well, I know that there are so many groups that are always searching to find a place to lease or to.
And we're very inexpensive, and we're top of the line. We're under the UAMS umbrella, so we have probably the state-of-the-art audiovisual. People love to come to our center and use that.
That's great to know. So between you and Dr. Jones at Harding University, we've got that covered, I think.
You do.
Okay. Well, tell them how they can get in touch with you or where they go to find out more about Schmeeding.
Well, we have all of our programs that we offer is on the schmeedingcenter.org, and we also have a Facebook page on Schmeeding Center, and so anytime all of our programs, anything, you can even log in and sign up for classes or sign up for community programs right there. You can find everything you need there, or you're welcome to call us at 479-750-1989.
Diane, it's been great. Thank you for being with us.
Appreciate
it. Next up, we have a gentleman who's been on the show one other time that's going to do a little bit of guitar. He has his personal style. It's a little bit of flamenco, a little bit of classical. I think he needs to give his own name to it. So when we have Wes ready, we're going to go there. I don't know if he's turned your camera on.
Talk later.
Thank you, Wes. Thank you so much. Our next segment is our Feeling Good segment. So we've talked with you about what to do when your family members are aging, but now we're going to talk with a guest who can tell you how to keep from aging so much, or keep yourself healthy as you go through those years. So we have with us today for Cindy, I don't know how to say this exactly, but we have Cindy Johnson, and her business is called Answer for You, because that's exactly what she does. She has an answer for you. Cindy, you invite people in to talk about aromatherapy, essential oils, and also you have some health coaching, life coaching, things you do for them. But that's not all. You also teach them a little bit about eccentrics, right?
Yes.
So tell us about eccentrics. I think you call it, let me get my note here, an original full body and brain body workout.
Yes, ma'am, that's it.
Okay,
Yes.
so full body and brain. Let's go with that.
Arlene mentioned aging, and I always say I want to feel good as I age. This is important. But eccentrics is for any age, and basically it is a full body workout using all 650 muscles every time you work out.
Awesome.
Which is really different because you do certain things like running or tennis or golf, and you're using the same muscle chains over and over. So that's one thing. And then it combines the flowing movements of Tai Chi, where you never hold poses, the theory behind ballet, where you lengthen and strengthen your muscles so you get toned really quickly, and then it's physiotherapy, which means it's completely pain-free for your body. So if you have aches and pains and soreness from other workouts, it will take care of that.
Awesome.
So it is amazing. I've actually never felt better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you also do some cooking classes, is that right?
Yes, we've had cooking classes. We like to cater to everybody, not just vegan, not just paleo, not just gluten-free, but it's like eat where you are and be healthy, but start where you are. So that is really key.
So you teach them how to work out,
Yes.
stay healthy with their body that way,
Yes.
and how to cook to be healthy.
Yes.
So Michael would have to give up his donuts and pound of butter. And
Not butter. I don't give up butter.
Okay.
But
He'll be
you know
glad to
what?
hear
I
that.
go to Andy's Custard like once a week, but I don't do it every day.
Right.
And as a naturopath and life and health coach, I always tell people it's all about balance. It's all about moderation in all things. So.
Well, let's see. Also, we're talking about the workouts, the cooking classes, the oils, all these different things. Someone may not be able to really jump into all of it at once.
Right.
So what do you recommend that they start out with?
Well, first of all, we come and just have a get-to-know session.
Okay.
So I find out based on conversation what the client's needs are. And that is exactly where we start. So if somebody is maybe eating well, but they have lethargy anyway and they're not moving, we'll work on a movement program. If somebody's going through an issue like a death or a loss or something, we'll work on some emotional coaching and getting them through that. So the client is the one that dictates where we start based on their needs.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I mentioned earlier that you have a lot of things you do.
Yes.
That you offer to your clients, but you have a lot of things going on outside of your business as well. And I know you moved your business recently to North Bentonville,
Yes.
Bella Vista border, kind of.
Yes.
You moved your home to Bella Vista.
I did,
because you love it up there.
Yes, I love the nature.
And then you've recently been on the set with FIA. The Worldwide Entertainment Agency.
Yes.
So
yes.
how was that experience, and what brought that about?
My mom was a model in the 30s and 40s, and my older sister and I followed suit. So FIA is a local agency, and I do different things for them, commercials and speaking parts and photography shoots. So that's a fun addition. I like to do it.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So, let's see. So, how would someone get in touch with you if they're ready to get a little more movement in that 600 and plus
muscles,
yes. Or if they are wanting to get some cooking classes or some life coaching,
Right.
how would they get in touch with you?
info@cindyjohnson.com.
Okay.
That is my email, and we're located at 701 McNelly Road, number 19 in Bentonville.
Awesome.
And my website, cindyjohnson.com, will be up soon. I'm hoping
Excellent.
within the next week.
Excellent. Well, we'll pass that information along on our Facebook page as well.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So it's been Cindy Johnson with us, and she has an answer for you. So let's go now over to our travel section that we've been doing, and we'll take that over to Mike.
Well, we're back, and I'm excited to have with me this evening Peggy Rosenthal with Dream Vacations. And Peggy has really been our resident expert, along with Debbie Cord and Jeff Cato, and I call them the Dream Team because they really are. I mean, the vacations that they book and the opportunities for folks to get away are simply just wonderful. And so, Peggy, welcome to the program, and thank you for coming. And so today I'd like to hear kind of about river cruise. It seems to be a popular travel option for a lot of folks. What can you tell us, Peggy, about that?
Well, Michael, it is a really good popular option for folks who have done a lot of ocean cruising and they want to try something a little bit more intimate. River cruising has much smaller ships, as you can imagine, because they need to go down the ocean, they need to go down the river. It's an experience where you can see land on both sides at all times and really delve into and immerse yourself in the culture as you stop at little towns along the way in either Europe or Asia.
Well, I'll tell you, it really sounds like a lot of fun, Peggy, and a good way to see cities along the way. Is a river cruise expensive?
Well, a river cruise, when you first look at the price tag of a river cruise, it may appear to be a little bit more expensive because if you're measuring an ocean versus a river, the initial price seems to be heavy. But what you need to consider with a river cruise is that all river cruises include a shore excursion in every port free of charge.
Okay.
And when you're thinking about Europe or Asia, those shore excursions are really, really expensive. It also includes your bottled water, your soft drinks, your beer and your wine with your meals.
Okay.
So when you add all of those things together, it may come up a little bit higher. It's a little bit more elevated experience, but it's not a big gap from an ocean cruise.
Well, that's fantastic to really kind of compare and contrast the differences in river cruising versus ocean cruising. So it doesn't sound like there's really a big difference in the pricing when you consider, again, just as you talked about, all that's included.
Correct.
So you've talked about Europe and folks kind of wonder from time to time, is there any options like that available here in the United States?
There are. There are a couple cruise companies that operate in the United States, American Cruise Lines and American Queen Steamboat Company. And what's really unique about the offerings from those two companies is they change throughout the year. So you might be able to take advantage of the St. Lawrence River and coming down through Minnesota on the Mississippi to enjoy fall foliage. You may go out to the west and enjoy the Columbia River or the Snake River in the summertime, or go further east, or go down to New Orleans and experience a jazz-themed river cruise. So there are options in the United States for people who don't want to take long plane trips to either Europe or Asia or even Africa.
Peggy, I've just got to ask, are there any specials on these river cruises? Because I'm always in the market for a deal. You know me, always for it. I know, always a deal.
I know you are, and so is everybody else, Michael. And yes, there are some deals on river cruises. It's very important to keep in touch with your travel agency to find what's going on. Often Viking River Cruise Lines has some very, very attractive packages that include either reduced or sometimes free airfare. So imagine free airfare.
Free airfare? Oh, I'm in.
River.
Count me in
and
for free airfare.
Clients are, and those right now are for some of the 2018 cruises that are left. I haven't seen any announced for 2019 yet, but they will come along. And Avalon and Alma Waterways are another two companies that from time to time offer air perks. So when you get that air thrown in, or even greatly reduced, I've got clients who spent $400 round trip to Europe from XNA.
From XNA. $400
round trip. So when you have an airfare like that, that's your best sale on a river cruise.
I don't think you could get to Vegas for that anymore.
I don't think you can, Michael.
Peggy, is there really anything else to talk about that we might have overlooked in river cruising?
Well, I would just say that understand it is all inclusive. Understand It includes your shore excursions. Kind of think of it as a bus tour in previous days, but you don't have to unpack because you unpack one time and you're still getting the benefit of seeing 2 or 3 or 4 countries in a 7-day period. So it's a really nice way to, again, immerse yourself in the culture.
So because I love to eat, and the fact that I have got to know it, they have a midnight buffet as well.
They do not, but they have incredible food. These river cruises have incredible food and wine.
Well, there you go.
So they'll take care of anybody who's a foodie or enjoys the wine experience.
So I might be able to order up at midnight something somewhere, maybe even from a vending machine.
Maybe.
Thanks for enlightening us so much, and again on river cruising, and we'll see the Dream Vacation team next week again on the show.
Okay.
Thanks
All right.
again, Peggy.
Thank you, Michael.
All righty.
And thanks again to the guys of Meteor.
Awesome.
Appreciate you much. Okay, well, it's time for Money Talks. And again, we have Rob and Melanie with us, and they visit with us each week about how to make our money go further, how to do some things with it, and how to prepare some things for the later times in life.
That's right.
So, you know, I know statistics show that most average households could not cover a $400 emergency. So
You going to talk to us about that today?
Yes. Nearly half of all Americans don't have the available cash on hand to cover a $400 emergency. But thank you for having us on. We are interested to talk to you about financial emergency planning. And we tell our clients that the most important buffer between ourselves and disaster is a $1,000 emergency fund. It's a critical priority.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's right. You know, $1,000 might seem, overwhelming at first. In fact, it could be like $1 million if they've never saved up that much before. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we're here tonight. We're going to share 5 tips on how to make that happen.
5 tips.
That's right.
Okay, everybody, get ready to take notes. What are those 5 tips?
Okay, number 1, cut discretionary expenses as far back as you can. Some ideas on that. The eating out and the drinking out, stop that for a while. Grocery shopping, make a meal plan, and find some cheaper alternatives for eating at home. What about that body art or tattoo or piercing you were planning? Maybe postpone that for a little while. Drive less, combine your errands to save gas. And the last one I'll tell you is look for free entertainment. There's free options of things to do, and you don't have to spend money on expensive entertainment. Now, if this seems disappointing to you, remember it's temporary, some temporary discomfort for great future security. So put some thought and action into it, and you can really make a difference.
Awesome. Rob, did you have something to add to that?
No.
Okay. So number 1 is cut expenses.
Right.
Number 2, what is it?
So number 2, you want to look at your bills. Things could be rising up on you. You don't even know it, but these little fees that are added, you might want to go back and check your cable bill. Because when you started, the cable bill was probably a pretty good deal, you thought. But over time, as that happens with satellite cable, the prices go up. So let's figure out, are you paying too much for that? Could you get a better deal somewhere? Or maybe you could cut out that sports package. Now, your internet, your mobile phone, same things. You can do review of those and find out if you're paying too much.
There might be a subscription or a membership you could let go of
Right.
as well. And sometimes we find that we're overpaying on insurance. So that's something we help our clients determine.
Well, and we recently found a lower package for our cell phone, and they
Perfect.
threw in Netflix.
Great.
Bonus.
So we're like, we can now cut the Netflix
Cut
and
that
go,
off.
with our new account
Exactly
thing.
right.
Okay, so number 1 was cut expenses. Number 2 was cut expenses. What have you got for number 3?
So number 3, you've gone bare bone, you've cut all expenses, and there's not much left to do. So it means income. You got to increase your income, and so the one
like
way
that.
you can do that, if you love animals, maybe you could be an animal walker, dog walker, or if you love kids, babysitting. How about getting overtime at your office, overtime at your plant? Maybe there's something there you already know what you're doing, and you can get extra money for that.
Second job, working weekends, mowing lawns.
And again, this is not something we expect you to do forever. It's temporary. It could be painful, but you've got a goal. You set that goal, you can accomplish it, and then go back to normal life.
So we're going to cut expenses, and make more money.
Oh, that's a great idea. I like that.
Okay, so now we're down to number 4.
Number 4, sell something. Have a yard sale
Make more
or
money.
go online. There's a lot of options for selling things online. And a side bonus to this is decluttering your space is really refreshing, gives you a new outlook on life, and if you're making some money at the same time, it really feels like a great win.
I agree on that so much. Well, okay, so now we're down to number 5. We've been focusing on these little steps to get us to saving that $1,000 of emergency fund. So number 5, what is that?
So number 5 might seem dramatic for some because the reality is you're saving for retirement because that's a good idea. We want you to do that. You may be even saving for your kids' college. Great idea. However, you may not be in a position to be doing that at the moment.
Even though your father may have told you so.
That's
you
right.
Do it.
Our clients we counsel them on how you can stop that saving for a bit to put that money into a $1,000 emergency fund.
It can add up really fast.
Yeah, it can.
Also, if you're paying any debt over the minimums, you can redirect that money temporarily to get that $1,000 built up, and it'll go really fast if you're actually doing these other savings.
Right.
So focus, and the $1,000 will be there when you need it.
Before you know
it. When you have an emergency, you won't have to borrow and get yourself into a more difficult situation.
Well, before we go back over to our next segment, which is BizBeat, why don't you tell us quickly about your workshop you have coming up? Do you have another one coming up?
Yeah, actually we have 2 coming up. One is scheduled for May 31st. That's going to be at 6:30 p.m. Thursday night. If that's not convenient, we've got a Saturday morning, 9 a.m., ready for you to come and learn about budgeting priorities.
And how can they get in touch with you?
Find details on our Facebook page, Northward Coaching, or our website of the same name.
There you go.
Okay, let's take it over to Michael and BizBeat.
Excellent. Well, we're back with Ian Rude from Pure Neurology, and always excited to have Ian here to really talk about how our bodies function neurologically. And I want to thank real quick Rob and Melanie Elliott once again for really handling our what we call our financial section of our show. It really brings insight into what's happening. So, Ian, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for being here. And Ian, kind of talk to me about what is exactly you do at Pure Neurology, and talk to us a little bit about your title and what you do in the company.
Okay. Well, I am the Chief Neurological Officer of Pure Neurology, and to put it really simply, we help people get healthy and fit fast and move without pain.
Excellent.
We actually have a system that allows us to search for the area in the body that's causing the pain and try and work to eliminate that instead of just masking pain with pills.
You've had a little personal endeavor, or what I call kind of insight to this, if you will. Kind of walk us through kind of how you got to developing Pure Neurology in terms of the company and your personal journey with that.
Absolutely. So I started out in emergency medicine.
Okay.
My healthcare career is spanned back to 2005. And in 2015, I sprained my right shoulder and developed a condition called complex regional pain syndrome. Mm-hmm. It's actually categorized as the most painful condition in existence. And the doctors weren't able to do anything to give me any kind of relief.
Okay.
That sent me on just a massive search, and I was looking for everything. They were talking to me about some pretty barbaric treatments at the time, and so I even started studying medical cannabis and different things, just anything to give me relief. And this was working for athletes. And then the other half is, we have the therapy, but we also bring in electrolyzed reduced water to hyperoxygenate the tissues and everything.
Okay.
So Pure Neurology was kind of born out of that search.
You've kind of partnered, walk us through a little bit too, you've kind of partnered with Kangen Water and Philip Harp and the folks there. So kind of walk us through that partnership a little bit.
Absolutely. So Harp Water, Philip and Loretta are amazing people.
Wonderful folks.
They're great folks. I actually met Philip at one of our business after hours events.
Okay.
And when we started talking about the water, initially I was a little bit apprehensive because I know there's a lot of ionizer products on the market.
Sure.
I did about 3 days worth of PubMed research, and I actually looked up the specs on the machine. So Kangen has the best technology out there. And if for no other reason, they've got solid titanium plates for the electrolysis, so you don't end up with heavy metal toxicity. But more than that, they have the ability to manually clean your device so that you don't end up with mold. But electrolyzed reduced water actually has more active hydrogen and oxygen. And so if you think of like a lightning strike, whenever it hits the water and the molecules disperse, it makes them smaller so they can penetrate the tissues easier. It's superior hydration.
Excellent. So describe kind of who your ideal client would be, Ian.
Really everybody. I say that and people laugh, but anybody who has chronic pain that they're wanting to be able to increase their activity and improve their quality of life. If doctors have told you that the only thing for you is pills or surgery, probably a good bet that we can help you. There's a small list of contraindications, but usually things that we can work around. Anybody who wants to get really fit, 10 minutes with me is the equivalent of an hour at the gym. And we can also improve your golf swing.
Well, there you go. There you go. So you've got an event coming up here very soon, really in a couple of weeks, if you will, as the countdown goes. Talk to us a little bit about that event as we wrap up here.
Absolutely. So it's called Just for the Health of It.
Okay.
And we're asking everybody to share the event and hashtag for the health of it to try and get the word out there. It's going to be myself, Drs. Lee and Natalie Horine,
Yes.
and we're also going to have another speaker. It's looking like we're going to focus on nutrition for that aspect of it.
Okay.
It'll be a overall health and wellness day, talking about our daily lives, our environments, and the effect that that has on our nervous system, which then has an effect on our entire body.
There you go. Well, Ian, always great to have you on the show to talk about how we can improve, or you can improve, the health and lives of folks who are going through chronic pain. Ian, thank you very much. Appreciate you. And we look forward to being at your event, by the way, on June 1st at the Rogers Lowell Chamber, I believe. That's where the event's going to be held.
1 to 3 o'clock.
1 to 3 o'clock. We look forward to it. All right. Well, let's take it away to music at this point, and with Wes, and just love to hear from him every time he shows up. How are you, Paul?
Us? We're up now? Oh, yeah. Okay. We have our second set already set up, so I was ready to let them have it. But again, we want to thank Wes for his wonderful skills with the guitar and joining us tonight. We've been having a lot of talk about health tonight, And we're even going to have somebody that wants us to eat healthy here in a little bit. But Beth, you and I are going to have fun. So I have with me the senior artisan at Cutting Edge Glass Creations, the pane in your glass. And she makes beautiful creations for your home. So after you start bringing people over for these beautiful, healthy meals that you're going to be cooking, Beth's going to help you welcome them with a lot of color. Welcome, Beth.
Thank you. I am so glad to be here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just glad you're here because, like we've talked about before in our conversations, I'm all about color. And, obviously you are all about color or you would not enjoy what you do.
Absolutely. Light and color with my stained glass windows, for sure.
Well, tell our viewers a little bit about what benefits there are in having stained glass in their homes.
Well, stained glass can offer all kinds of benefits for your home. So first of all, we can create a privacy effect for you. So we can take your clear glass and make it into a decorative window that would give you privacy, as well as it's completely customizable. So we can add your monogram. We can make something that's your favorite animal or your favorite design. We can even make it go with the current trends in your home, so it can match your drapery or anything else that you choose to design your home with. It's really nice to add that extra touch of decoration when you've spent hundreds to thousands of dollars on everything else. Dress up your windows too.
Sure. Awesome. Well, there's a lot of things that we could talk about with quality of your work and characteristics of it. But let's talk about a little more on those basics like we've been discussing so far. So what are some of the best ideas that you've seen that people they frequently think of front doors or a window or that it's over in the church. So what's some of the best ideas you've seen for using stained glass or even etched glass?
Great question. So the best way to use it is a lot of people don't like the ugly privacy glass in their bathrooms, and so we can replace that ugly privacy glass with something that's very beautiful. And we can do that with the etched glass, which is a sandblasted effect or frosted effect, as well as a stained or a leaded glass design. So it doesn't even have to be color. If you're a little scared to throw a lot of color at something, that's just fine. We can do it in a clear texture as well and give you the privacy that you need as well as the decoration. Those ugly, I think they're ugly, those glass block windows, we can fix that and replace those with something much more beautiful, as well as on the front entryway, which some people do think about. A lot of times those come with clear glass. And if your bedroom's on one side of the house and your kitchen's on the other side of the house and you're in your skivvies, guess who watches you walk across?
All the neighbors.
Nobody wants to see you in your well, maybe some people want to see you in your skivvies, but I don't want people to see me in my skivvies.
Right.
So I prefer to have privacy in my front entryway as well.
Awesome. That's something that we need to be talking with you about too, because we've gone back and forth on what we're going to do there. So do you only do stuff in people's homes, or do you do other things as well?
I don't. I do a lot of commercial work as well as religious, but I get asked all the time, oh, you do mostly church work? And I say, no, actually, we do mostly residential and commercial work. So we can do work for law offices. We have created the windows right down just the street here at Walmart Spark Cafe. We created those windows.
Excellent.
We also have done them for Circle of Life Hospice and Highlands Oncology Group. So we can do them in all kinds of different applications.
Awesome. Those are great. Well, you've been doing this professionally for 20 years.
Just over 20 years.
Wow. So what is your most favorite or the most unusual piece you've ever done?
Oh, I've done so many different pieces. I would have to say that my favorite is anything that I'm working on right now. They're all my babies. Every single one of them. When I get to go see them, like at the Spark Cafe, I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. So they're all my favorite. I just love them all.
Yeah. Well, some of my favorites that you've done, probably one of my most favorite is the bird.
Peacock?
The peacocks that you did. And people can go out on your website and see that as long as many other things. So tell us a little bit about how they can go see all that beautiful work that you've done.
Yes, please check out our website. It's www.letusbeapaininyourglass.com. Or you can find us at cuttingedglasscreations.com. And you can find us, we're located in Farmington. We have a large studio there. We're happy to come out and do free estimates for all of our clients.
Okay, we've been talking with Beth from Cutting Edge, and I hope she'll be back another time. We're going to, next time I hope that we can kind of drill in on one topic about stained glass and get to know a little bit more and what we can use it for.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
So up next, like I mentioned earlier, let's see, we have someone who's going to talk to us that also wants us to get healthy. So let's take it back to Michael and the What's New in NWA segment.
Thank you, Arlene, and thank you, Beth, for being on the program once again in interiors and exteriors. And we're really excited this evening to have Paul and Nick with us from Freshie, an entirely new concept in Northwest Arkansas, and actually right here in Bentonville, dealing with healthy and fresh, really kind of what I call not so much fast food to go, really as a concept just about folks who can come in and pick the right kind of meals and the healthy kind of meals. And that's really what they desire during the lunch hours, to really continue their health program, staying fit. And I will say this, I must apologize, guys, this evening for having pizza for everybody here. But one must, as Paul has mentioned to me from time to time, one can deviate from the standard dietary regimen, if you will, but not that often. And see, that's my problem. I tend, Paul, as we've talked about, to kind of get off on a real train wreck some days. But
that's why we're here.
Excellent, and I'm glad you're here to hopefully keep me in line. And so with this kind of fast casual dining, they call it, on the food scene here in Bentonville, you know, this is something that was really kind of what they considered in Canada kind of fast casual as well. It was a restaurant franchise that served and has served burritos, wraps, soup, salads, and frozen yogurt. All of those are wonderful things that I enjoy. So tell us about, Paul, yourself, and I know Nick will jump in here in just a minute, and really tell us about how this new experience came to be here in Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, so I come from a military and sports background. Wasn't able to go down that route, so when I started looking for a business to open, we actually started looking at healthy restaurants because we noticed that there was a shortage of them in our area. And I actually went to a buddy with a few different choices of restaurants to endeavor in. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, you shouldn't do any of those. You should do Freshie. And that's how it all happened. And a lot of it is my wife and I, we meal plan and we do all of our meal prep one day of the week for the rest of the week. But sometimes life just, it happens, right? You get busy. And
no
Freshie,
one ever experiences that.
No, not in today's world, not in the U.S. But we needed something that was fast and healthy, so that we didn't just go crazy off into the woods when we'd have fried chicken tenders or Popeyes or mashed potatoes and gravy or something like that. So
yes.
Freshie really just helps bridge that gap between your meal plan and your busy life.
You know, Paul, we are in the Bible Belt.
Yeah.
And everything is fried and fried again and triple fried. And so and then some. And there's nobody. It's kind of hard to get away from that at the end of the day. And so the young lady in the audience agrees with me as well on that. But so Nick, with over 300 locations across 85 cities and 20 countries, what makes Freshie unique from the other healthy eating experiences?
Yeah, completely. So Matthew Korn, the CEO, just was very strategic in how he wanted to set up Freshie, and he wanted it to be this epitome of what could be easy and affordable food, healthy food. And so he set it up to where it was very easy to get into a market and really bridge the gap between people who are extremely focused on their diet and their health, and then the people that are looking to get into healthy foods and options. So really, it was just a very simple concept, and it is just something that's easily replicable to make sure that we get everybody that needs to.
Now, Paul, I'm going to deviate from kind of our menu here a little bit. As you well know, sometimes folks like to do that. Is there anything that if a person walks in off the street and says, well, I have this restriction or I have that restriction, can you kind of accommodate those restrictions, or kind of how are you set up in that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. We have the chef design entrees, which is our best practice. Hey, this is proven, this has all your nutrients, and this will help you. However, we do understand that people do have those dietary restraints. So our whole menu is customizable. So you can do whatever that that you want that fits within your diet, and you can plan it however you like. So yes, we definitely cater to all kinds of diets and any kind of dietary restrictions.
Well, in my research on Freshie, guys, I noticed that there's a unique concept in meal planning called the meal box. This consists of 3 meals, 2 snacks assembled in a box. Can you give the audience an idea on how the meal box plan is tailored to fit kind of the various needs of individuals who are on the go dealing with gluten-free diets and those who work out as well?
Yeah, completely. So there's 4 different meal box styles. There's the slim for when you're trying to slim down, bulk if you're trying to bulk up for you're in a workout regimen. We have gluten-free, and then we have just clean eating. So there's also different time frames. So you can do 1, 3, 5, and 30-day meal boxes. One day, maybe it's just because you're gonna have a crazy day at work. You go in the night before, you get all your food for that day, and you keep it at work. Okay. Up to 30 days where it's like, look, I'm trying to get healthy. I'm trying to do this certain regimen, and I just want all my meals taken care of so I can get ready for summer, whatever you're trying to do. And they consist of the 3 meals and 2 snacks focused around whatever you're trying to accomplish.
Now, as Peggy mentioned earlier in our travel section, they have some great midnight buffets on these ships. So if I were coming in and wanted to get ready for some good eating on the midnight buffet, now would there be a meal box planned for me in that, or would I just really be stretching it? Do I need to take some meals with me so I don't get off course on the midnight buffet?
Yeah, I think you're just going to have to take some meals with you there.
Well,
we'll take care of you.
There you go. So breakfast is always kind of a wonderful deal for me, and I enjoy breakfast. And earlier we kind of discussed these various types of menu items served at Freshie, but I'm always interested to know about a great breakfast. And I see that you not only serve breakfast, but you have juices and smoothies. So walk us through kind of the various types of juices and smoothies that you have, Paul, and kind of, really the different steps that consumers need to take before kind of jumping in and detoxifying their bodies with these wonderful drinks.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick note about the breakfast: we serve a $1 coffee in competition at McDonald's.
$1 coffee.
Oh yeah, and it's got 2 I's instead of the 2 E's. So great marketing there. And then
okay, folks.
Yeah, Freshie actually had the best rated breakfast 3 years running in Toronto, a city of 2 million plus people. So
wow.
The breakfast is stellar. Don't just knock it until you try it, okay?
There you go, with 2 eyes.
Yes. But yes, the juice cleanses. Again, it goes back to what Nick is saying. We have different days. Increments in days. You can do 1, 3, or 5 days.
Okay.
It comes with 4 juices and then a MetaBoost salad at the end.
Okay.
And with that, we would, if you're just now getting into juice cleanses, we recommend that you only do 1 day juice cleanse.
Okay.
And to help with that, because if you do a 3-day or a 5-day right off the bat, then all those toxins that the juices and the MetaBoost salad are helping get rid of will just flood your system, and you'll go haywire, and then all sorts of messed up. So just do 1 day at the beginning,
okay,
and then start cleaning up your eating. This is a kind of a jump start into clean eating.
Okay.
So do the 1 day, start eating clean, then you can go to the 3-day, and then later down the road you can do the 5-day. But don't just start with the 5-day if you've never done it before. It's kind of brutal on your body.
So Nick, you wouldn't recommend for me to do the 1-day juice start out and then all of a sudden run down and get a dozen donuts and then start over with the juice again?
Yeah, it's not really going to do much for you.
Not going to help me out?
No, it's not. No.
So you would be on course to track me, to make sure that I'm not running down to the donut store and getting, a dozen donuts.
I mean, what you do outside of Freshie is not up to us.
Well, I know, but it kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
We have ankle bracelets. We'll just track everywhere you go. But you have to keep it charged.
There you go. All right. Well, so your new location in Bentonville off Main Street, next to probably another well-known kind of sandwich shop in town, but in the same center. So how are you all going to kind of duke this out, if you will? You've got kind of the real healthy on one end and kind of the not so healthy on the other. So
really good question. See, restaurants are different from any other business in that we're very synergistic.
Yes.
Someone is not going to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the same restaurant every single day for the rest of their life. You want options. So having the different kind of options from a sub shop to our fried chicken and Freshie is kind of works in everyone's benefit to have them all in the same place.
Well, you'll be at 1335 South Main in Bentonville, really the same complex again as Which Witch, and your staff, I know you're hiring a staff that is kind of second to none.
Correct.
Experience really running them through the ringer in this case. So, Paul, it was nice to visit with you and Nick, and I wish you the best in the new phase of your lives going forward, and we're going to close out our Upside Down edition with moving over to music, and then on to Arlene and Carolyn in the next segment. Guys, thank you so very much for coming aboard and letting us discover some more about Freshie. We're excited, and I know we'll have you back on the program. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Michael.
How about that? Wes is a man of many talents. Did you notice that he got in there with the boys this time? So, this time on the drums. So, just a very, very valuable musician. Well, we're going to talk now a little more about some things with health, but this is our newcomer section where we talk with newcomers, but we also talk with our community liaison. And we've had 2 or 3 of those on the show so far. Today we're going to have Miss Carolyn Hook, and she is coming on board as a community liaison. Last I heard anyway, I think we've had some things changing at times. But I want you to know a few things about Carolyn first, and that's that she is an amazing woman. I'm not going to tell you her age, but if you knew it, you'd be really amazed. Thank you. Because I admire who she is, I admire what she is, I admire what she stands for. She is a strong Christian, very strong in her faith. She's a distributor for Sunrider International, which we'll hear about a little bit. She's also a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a friend, a teacher, and a business owner. So Carolyn's Facebook page states, "I love life and enjoy blessing others' lives." And that sums her up in so many ways. So she loves to teach, she loves to read, she loves to nurture, do research, be creative in the field of art, which I didn't know that until today. And so Carolyn, how do you do all of this?
One thing at a time, over a period of time. It takes a while, but I don't do it all at once. I just kind of pick and choose at this point in life.
And you just transition back and forth, whatever you feel like doing at the time, right?
Yeah.
Or with grandchildren, it's whatever's demanded at the time, I bet, too.
A little bit, but I just love those boys to death. 5 grandsons and no granddaughters or daughters, so, you know.
Do you ever
they're a
get
different
all,
breed.
Yeah. Do you ever get all 5 of them together at once?
Oh, yeah.
Grandsons? Do you ever get left alone with all 5 of them at once?
Not very often, but
Good.
sometimes.
Good. That would be a 3-ring circus, I would think.
Yes, it almost is.
Well, I mentioned that you are excited about becoming one of our community liaisons. So share with our viewers a little bit about what got you interested in being a community liaison.
Well, I just enjoy people. I enjoy being with people. I enjoy talking to people. And I just thought this would be a great opportunity to meet other people and just enjoy it.
I love that you're a people person. Just hit it off with you immediately. Felt a kindred spirit the first time we met. And that's one of the things I love about you. Well, Carolyn, more and more people are becoming interested in natural, holistic healing. And we've had a program about it almost tonight.
Just about.
So you get to give a sample of your product or to all the people that you go visit as a homeowners. And if they're interested, you get to tell them about, and then you can also follow up with them later.
Right.
But with that in mind, if a homeowner asks you how to become involved with Sunrider or what you would recommend as your personal favorite product or something like that, how would you advise them? What would you say to them?
I would advise them to start with the basics of what we call the basic program of the philosophy of regeneration in Sunrider itself, because I started this in 1991, many years ago, and I haven't looked back. It's just been such a blessing to me, and the foundation of it is nourish your body, cleanse your body, and it will balance out. And you notice a lot of things changing in your life, energy, well-being. You notice things disappearing that had been there. And it has nothing to do with curing anything. It's just nourishing your body with the right foods that are proven over 5,000 years of research. So, like I said, I got started in this many years ago when I had some challenges in life, health-wise, and I haven't looked back. Like I said, it's just changed my life so much, and I just love helping people and showing them that path too.
Awesome. Well, you're an awesome lady, and I think the fact that you've been using your products for so long is what's kept you as vibrant and youthful as you are. Again, you're amazing to me. So, well, Carolyn, we're glad to have you on our team.
Thank you.
And look forward to getting you out there very soon. We've gotten some new things in that we're going to give you ladies to go on out with and,
that sounds like fun.
Share stories and messages. So give everybody in your family a hug if those boys will let you.
Yeah, well, I have to chase them anymore.
I bet. That keeps you young too.
Oh, yes.
Well, you're going to stay with us through this break, I bet. And so before we go on to our final closing segment, we're going to have another 1-minute mic with Mike and another gentleman. So let's take it to that.
And we're back. Thank you for having us come live to you in your home. And Arlene, thank you for interviewing Carolyn with Sunrider. Great to have her on the program, and also as a welcome representative coming on board to NWA Welcome Services. So I'm honored to have on our show for a couple of minutes here this evening, Brandon Watts with B. Watts Photography. Yes. That's a catchy name, Brandon. I'll tell you, that is really nice. And so, Brandon, talk to us a little bit also, not only about B. Watts Photography, but also about another special project you've got called Studio 479. So,
yeah, so Brandon Watts of B. Watts Photography, been doing photography for a couple of years now. I do everything from weddings, engagements, family portraits, help models build portfolios, but I also had independent contracts with companies like Marshalltown doing product photography, Crystal Bridges, University of Arkansas, Black Hills Energy, and I just got done shooting Bentonville Film Festival.
Wow.
So I had got published in U.S. Magazine, Radar, and OK Weekly.
Okay,
so, yeah.
very
And then
nice.
Studio 479 is just a big portrait studio where families, commercial work, or just anybody can come in and get their needs taken care of. It's a 2,400 square foot studio. I got
2,400 square feet.
I got packages where people like herself can come in and get your makeup done, get your hair done, get that full-blown experience with great quality photos as well.
Well, excellent. So, Brandon, how long have you been kind of doing photography and really your background in this?
Well, I'm self-taught. I went to the university and I got a degree in information systems and a minor in supply chain management, and then I fell in love with photography, so they kind of took over. I think I wish I would have known that before all the loan and all the money, but I got that paid off now, so we're good. But I went full time this past September, got the studio in January. We just finished with the ribbon cutting and the grand opening this past week, which was a great turnout. So,
wow, excellent.
Being busy.
Excellent. Well, you also have a family.
Yes, I do.
Not only are you an owner of a business, but got a family, and so that keeps you busy as well.
It do.
There you go. Well,
motivates me to work hard. Gotta pay bills. Take care of the little one.
There you go. Well, Brandon, thank you for being on the show with us in our extended one mic minute here, because I really wanted to know more about B. Watts Photography, and I'm glad you stuck around with us through the show. And I think we're going to kind of wrap up here and talk a little bit about kind of the overall show.
We've even got the closing line for Brandon that we'll kind of clue him in on.
There you go. All right.
So we're going to keep him through our close. We're going to make our close a little bit shorter this week because we've just been having so much fun with all the other people. So this about wraps it up. We're looking forward to you joining us next week. We are planning at this point to have a Memorial Day show. We would love for you to get on our Facebook page and tell us what you would like to see in that show, who you want to be there, and we'll scurry to get it all together for you. So now, if your belief is that we should not have a show, we want to hear that from you as well.
Yes, most definitely.
We create this show for you, and we want it to be for you.
Definitely.
Michael?
Well, I'll tell you, as you and I have mentioned, this about wraps up the show for us. We look forward for you to join us next week at Neighbors Mill, if you vote that way, as we welcome more notable guests to our program here or there at beautiful Neighbors Mill at 8 a.m. A special thanks going out to our sponsors. Go ahead.
Well, okay, first we do, as always, want to make our first thank you go out to Bolt NWA, your favorite family escape experience.
Yes.
Bolt is responsible for our production and technology. And Johnny Brusco's, they worked with us tonight on pizza for those who are here in attendance, and we just love having them with some of our events. Barton Consulting continues to help us get better, and Ashley Home Store does a lot of work for us when we're down at the mill. And Music Works, technical assistance, Meteor Guitar and Gallery, technical assistance, and awesome location. Our producer is so excited about the acoustics here and everything
even like
about
the music
it.
too.
So, and yeah, the music was a little more his style too.
Yes.
So, coming from someone who I like it all, just about every kind of music.
There we go.
But Michael, who else do we need to thank?
Well, we need to thank KR Promotions, and of course you can't be cool unless you're over cool with a 28-degree cup holder from Simply Cool LLC. And of course, the wonderful folks at Nothing Bundt Cakes. You can never gain any extra calories there. I'm glad Paul and the group from Freshie are gone, and we're not letting them hear about Nothing Bundt Cakes. But no calories there, folks.
They melt in your mouth.
They do. They are excellent. And Rick McLeod's Farmers Insurance, and of course our good friends at Minuteman Press and Printing in Springdale, who are always helping keep up with our printing needs.
Well, until next week, this is Arlene and Michael saying good morning, neighbor. Well, good evening, neighbor.
Good evening, neighbor.
See you at the meter.